The sliding doors of the Super Save grocery store opened with a quiet sigh, releasing a breath of cold Montreal air that slipped straight through my coat and settled into my bones. At 64, cold felt different now, less like weather, more like something personal. I paused just inside the entrance, adjusting my scarf and reminding myself to keep up. My son had already disappeared into the aisles. "Mom, grab a cart," Derek had said moments earlier, already walking away. "I'll get the milk." He moved with the confidence of someone who knew exactly where everything was, someone who had lived here long enough to stop being a visitor. 7 years in Montreal had done that to him. Marriage had helped too. Natalie, polished, efficient, fluent in French, and always impeccably kind in that careful, distant way reserved for in-laws. I pushed the cart toward the produce section, letting the normalcy calm me. Stacks of apples gleamed under bright lights. Kale stood in perfect green bundles. The low murmur of conversations in French and English blended into a familiar grocery store hum. I reached for a tomato when I felt someone approaching quickly. "Mrs. Collins?" I turned. A young cashier stood a few feet away, her name tag reading Sophie. She smiled like we were old acquaintances. "Yes," I answered politely. She laughed softly. "Back again? Third time today." The tomato slipped from my fingers and rolled into the display. "I'm sorry," I said slowly. "You must be mistaken. This is my first visit." Her smile faltered. She studied my face, tilting her head. "No, you were here this morning. You bought oranges and that French cheese. You always get the expensive one." A chill ran through me that had nothing to do with the weather. Before I could respond, Derek's voice cut in sharply. "Mom, we're leaving." He gripped my elbow with surprising force. The milk carton in his hand thudded into the cart. "Derek," I protested, "what are you—" "Now," he said under his breath, "please." He steered me down the aisle, abandoning the cart, ignoring my confusion. Sophie stood frozen behind us, her face pale with uncertainty. The automatic doors opened again, and Derek practically pushed me into the parking lot. My heart pounded, not from exertion, but from the panic written all over my son's face. I stopped walking. "Derek Michael Collins," I said, planting my feet on the cold pavement. "You will explain yourself right now." He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair, the same nervous habit he'd had since childhood. "It's nothing, Mom. She was confused. Let's just go to a different store." "She knew my name," I said evenly. "She said I'd been there 3 times today. She knew exactly what I always buy." His face drained of color. "Can we talk in the car?" he pleaded. "It's freezing." I allowed him to guide me to his sleek black sedan, but something had already lodged itself deep in my chest. We drove in silence, the streets of Montreal passing by in neat rows of stone buildings and bundled pedestrians. Finally, he spoke. "There's a woman," he said quietly. "She shops at that store." I waited. "She looks like you." I turned toward him. "Looks like me how?" "Very much like you." My stomach tightened. "And you didn't think to mention this?" He swallowed. "Natalie and I saw her months ago. We thought maybe a distant relative." I laughed once, sharply. "So there's a woman in this city who could pass as my reflection, and you said nothing?" His knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. "Derek," I said softly, "what aren't you telling me?" The apartment was quiet when we arrived. Natalie was out, as usual. I went straight to the guest room, my mind racing. Doppelganger, twins separated at birth, adoption records. Searches led nowhere until I pulled up my birth certificate. I stared at it longer than I ever had before. Something was wrong. The paper looked too new, the seal too faint. A knock came at the door. "Mom," Derek said gently, "we need to talk." He sat on the edge of the bed, avoiding my eyes. "The woman's name is Marie," he said quietly. "Marie Hansen." I felt my breath catch. She's not just someone who looks like you. We're almost certain she's your identical sister." The room tilted. "That's impossible," I whispered. "My mother would have told me." "She didn't," he quieted. He explained how they met Marie, how wealthy she was, how she was sick, how they'd known for months. "You knew, and you kept this from me. We were protecting you. From my own sister?" I stood, anger flooding through me. "I want to meet her." His face went white. "That's not a good idea." "Why?" "Because she's confused. She forgets things, and the people around her, her advisors, her lawyer, they're very protective." "I don't care about her money. I care that she exists." He looked away. "There's more," he said, "something you need to know." But I was already grabbing my purse. "I need air. I need to think." Outside, the October air hit my face like a slap. I walked aimlessly through old Montreal, my world unraveling. A sister, a lie spanning decades, a son who knew and stayed silent. 2 hours later, I returned. The apartment lights were on. Voices carried through the door. "You never should have taken her to that store," Natalie said sharply. "I didn't know Marie would be there," Derek snapped. 6 months of planning, and you ruin it." "Planning?" I opened the door. "After what?" I asked calmly. They froze. The look they exchanged told me everything. Whatever this was, it was bigger than a sister, and they had been planning it without me. As I stood there, watching my son and daughter-in-law scramble for words, one truth settled heavily in my chest. Meeting my sister wasn't the danger. The real danger was discovering what my own family had been hiding and how far they were willing to go to keep it secret. She looked up slowly, as if emerging from deep water. The parking lot lights reflected in her eyes that were the same hazel as mine, set in a face so familiar it made my chest ache. "I knew you'd come," she said softly. The words froze me in place. "You knew?" I whispered. She smiled, confused but certain. "You appear sometimes, in mirrors, in dreams. Mother used to say I imagined things, but I knew something was missing." I sat beside her on the cold bench. Her coat was thin for the night air. "My name is Loretta," I said. "What's yours?" "Marie," she said proudly. "Marie Hansen, but you already knew that, didn't you?" I nodded, unable to speak. Behind me, I sensed Derek and Natalie approaching, but I didn't turn. This moment was mine. "I think you're my sister," Marie said thoughtfully. "Do you think that's possible?" "Yes," I said, my voice breaking. "I think it's more than possible." She studied my face as if memorizing it. "We're very alike," she said. "I should know my own face, but sometimes I don't." Tears burned my eyes. Derek crouched beside her. "Marie, we were worried. You've been gone a long time." "Was I?" She frowned. "I went to buy oranges." "You didn't bring them," Natalie said gently. "I keep forgetting." We took her home. Her apartment overlooked the city, all glass and soft light, beautiful, expensive, and haunted by reminders of her illness. Sticky notes covered mirrors, calendars contradicted each other. 3 pairs of reading glasses lay scattered across tables. Natalie helped her change while Derek and I stood by the window. "She's getting worse," he said quietly, "faster than we expected." "How long have you really known her?" I asked. He hesitated. "Over a year." I turned sharply. "You said 6 months." "I didn't want to overwhelm you." I exhaled slowly. "Stop deciding what I can handle." Natalie returned. "She wants to show you something." Marie sat on the bed holding a small wooden box. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside were letters, dozens of them. She handed one to me. The handwriting was shaky. My dear daughter, if you're reading this, then I have finally found the courage, or I am gone. You had a sister, a twin. You were separated at birth. I was told it was better that way. I believed them. I regretted every day. My breath caught. She wrote that before she died, Marie said. My mother, Catherine. I read on. Names, dates, regret pressed into ink. There's another letter, Marie said. It came recently from a lawyer. My heart began to pound. The letterhead read Hartley and Associates. It explained everything. My mother, Ruth Collins, had kept adoption records. She had known all along. She died last month, I whispered. Derek stiffened. Your mother passed? I didn't know, I said hoarsely. I was here when it happened. Marie watched me closely. Your mother kept secrets too. Yes, I said bitterly. Both of them did. Natalie pulled another document from the box, an original birth certificate. 2 names, Loretta Rose, Catherine Marie, twin girls, separated by court order. Our birth mother's name sat at the top like a ghost, Mary Sullivan. Marie swallowed. I found out before I got sick. I hired someone. Our birth mother didn't give us up. We were taken. The room spun. The hospital told her we died. She drank herself to oblivion after that. I sank onto the bed. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Mrs. Collins, this is Richard Peyton. My blood grew cold. I believe we need to talk tomorrow morning, alone. How did you get this number? I have my methods, and I have information that concerns your mother's estate. Derek mouthed no. 10 o'clock, Ritz-Carlton. Come alone. The line deadened. Marie looked at me. He's dangerous. So is Derek, I said quietly. I stayed because I wanted the truth, not protection. She yawned suddenly, clarity slipping. Will you stay tonight? She asked softly. I don't like being alone. Yes, I said immediately. After Derek and Natalie left, I lay awake listening to Marie breathe in the next room. At dawn, she stood by the window watching the city wake. That man who called you, don't trust him. I don't. But don't trust Derek either, she added. I searched the apartment while she showered. Notes were hidden everywhere. One made my hands shake. Someone took $250,000. I don't know who. Richard blames Derek. Derek blames Richard. I don't know who to trust. The date was 5 days ago. She knew. She had always known more than she let on. We sat at breakfast like 2 women who should have shared a lifetime of mornings. I made Derek a beneficiary because he felt like family, Marie said calmly, but I also made plans in case he wasn't. What kind of plans? She smiled thinly. Smart ones. As Marie sipped her coffee with trembling hands and spoke with a clarity that frightened me, I realized something chilling. My sister wasn't the fragile pawn everyone believed her to be. She had been watching us all along, and she was about to make a move that would change everything. Silence filled the apartment after my question, thick and suffocating. Derek and Natalie stood frozen near the kitchen counter like children caught doing something unforgivable. Natalie recovered first, smoothing her blouse, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Loretta, you must be exhausted, she said gently. Let me make you some tea. After what? I repeated, louder this time. After what, Natalie? Derek stepped forward. Mom, you're misunderstanding. No, I cut in. I'm understanding perfectly well. You said after. That means there's something you planned to happen before I found out. Neither of them answered. "Sit down," I said. Something in my voice made them obey. They sat on the white leather sofa while I remained standing, my hands trembling, not from fear, but from fury held in check by decades of self-control. "Start talking," I said, "now." Derek rubbed his face. "Marie is sick, Mom. Early-stage Alzheimer's." My anger paused, replaced briefly by shock. "How sick?" "Some days she's clear," he said. "Other days she forgets where she is. She goes to the same places over and over. That's why the cashier recognized you." My heart twisted. She thought she was seeing herself. "Yes." "And you let me walk into that store knowing that?" Natalie's voice cracked. "We didn't expect it to happen that way." I laughed bitterly. "You didn't expect me to meet my own twin." Derek exhaled sharply. "We were trying to manage the situation." "Manage," I repeated, like a business problem. He flinched. "Marie is wealthy, extremely wealthy. She has no children, no immediate family. When she was diagnosed, we discovered her entire estate was set to go to charities." "And?" I pressed. "And we became close to her," Natalie said. "We helped her. She was lonely, confused. She trusted us." I stared at her. "And you let her change her will." The room went still. "She did it on her own," Derek said quickly. "She insisted." "How much?" I asked. Derek swallowed. "Half." The word hit me like a blow. "Half of how much?" "About 40 million. I had to sit down. "You inserted yourselves into the life of a vulnerable woman and accepted $20 million while hiding her existence from me." "It's not like that," Derek stood. "We protected her from people who were already stealing from her." That got my attention. "Who?" "Her financial advisor, Richard Pettin." The name meant nothing to me then, but it would soon mean everything. "He had power of attorney," Derek explained. "He was siphoning money off her accounts, millions." "And instead of calling the police?" "He has connections," Natalie said quietly. "Judges, politicians. We needed proof." "So you decided to play hero and left me out of it." "We were going to tell you," Derek insisted, "on her birthday, with lawyers present, everything done properly." "How considerate," I said coldly, "after she signed the will." Derek's face crumpled. "Mom, please believe me. We never intended to hurt you." "You hurt me the moment you chose money and control over honesty." I stood up and headed for the guest room. "Mom, wait," Derek called. "There's more." I stopped, but didn't turn. "Pettin knows something's wrong," Derek said. "He's suspicious. If he discovers you exist, he'll accuse us of manipulating Marie, elder abuse, fraud." I laughed without humor. "And you think hiding me helps your case?" Before he could answer, a knock echoed through the apartment. All three of us froze. Derek checked his phone. His face went gray. "It's Pettin," Natalie whispered. "How does he know where we live?" "I don't know," Derek said. Then to me urgently, "Mom, you need to hide." "I'm not hiding," I said. "Please, just this once." Against every instinct, I stepped into the guest room and left the door cracked. Pettin's voice was smooth, cultured, dangerous. "Good evening, Derek. Unexpected, I know." "I don't know what you're talking about," Derek replied carefully. "Funny, because financial records don't disappear on their own." I could hear him moving closer. "You've been digging," Pettin continued, "going through documents that don't belong to you, influencing a woman who no longer has full capacity." "That's false," Derek said tightly. "Is it?" Pettin chuckled. Then you won't mind the investigation I've already requested." My stomach dropped. "I've contacted Adult Protective Services," Petten said pleasantly. "They'll be reviewing Marie's situation very closely." Natalie let out a small sob. "And there's a court hearing scheduled to declare Marie legally incompetent. Once that happens, any will signed recently will be void." Silence followed. "I suggest you reconsider your position. Manipulating vulnerable seniors is a serious crime." "Get out," Derek said. Petten laughed softly. "Oh, I will, but understand this, you're not as clever as you think." The door closed. I stepped out of the room. Natalie was crying openly now. Derek looked shattered. "When is Marie most clear?" I asked quietly. They both looked at me. "Mornings," Derek said. "Why?" "Because you're taking me to meet her tomorrow morning." "Mom!" "No," I said firmly. "No more secrets, no more managing. She's my sister." Derek's phone buzzed. He checked it, then looked up slowly. "She's missing." "What?" "She left for her walk hours ago. She hasn't come back." I didn't hesitate. "She'll be at the grocery store," I said. "It's familiar to her." We drove through the city in silence, and when I saw her, sitting alone on a bench outside the store, her hands folded, staring into nothing, I knew, even before she looked up, even before she smiled and said softly, "I knew you'd come." As I sat beside the woman who wore my face and called me from her memories, one terrifying truth became clear. My sister wasn't lost by accident. She was caught in a war where love, money, and lies were colliding, and now I was standing directly in the crossfire. Marie insisted on coming with me to the hotel. "I'm clearer in the mornings," she said, buttoning her coat with steady fingers. "If Richard plans to lie, I want to hear it while my mind is still mine." I didn't argue. The Ritz-Carlton lobby smelled of polished wood and expensive perfume. Richard Petten rose from his seat the moment he saw us. His smile faltered when Marie stepped beside me. "Well," he said lightly, "this is unexpected." "Get used to it," Marie replied. We sat. Richard folded his hands. "Marie, I'm concerned. People around you have been taking advantage." "Name them," she said. "Your nephew," he said smoothly, "and his wife." My jaw tightened. Richard slid a folder across the table. "Bank statements, transfers, gifts disguised as reimbursements." Marie opened it slowly. "I authorized many of these," she said. "Yes," Richard agreed, "under influence." "That's an accusation," I said. "And one I can prove," he replied calmly, "which is why I requested a competency hearing." Marie laughed softly. "You requested control." Richard leaned in. "I've protected you for years. You've drained me for years," Marie snapped. Silence. "You forget," Richard said coolly, "that I still hold power of attorney." "Not anymore," Marie said. She placed her own folder on the table. A revocation document. Signed, witnessed, filed. Richard's smile cracked. "This will be contested." "Everything is contested when liars lose," Marie replied. He stood abruptly. "You're making a mistake." "No," she said, "I made one years ago when I trusted you." He left without another word. Back at the apartment, Derek was waiting. "You went without telling me," he said. "You weren't invited," Marie replied. He stared at her, stunned. "I trusted you," he said softly, "and I trusted you until I didn't," Marie answered. Natalie arrived minutes later, eyes red. "We're being investigated. APS, financial crimes." Derek turned to me. "Mom, you have to help us." "I am helping," I said, "by telling the truth." Marie raised her hand. "There will be no arrests." Everyone looked at her. "I documented everything," she said, "both sides. I kept records, dates, audio." Derek's knees buckled onto the sofa. "I wanted family," Marie continued. "Instead, I found competitors." She looked at me. "Except you." I reached for her hand. "My estate will go to charity," she said calmly, "except for one trust." Derek looked up, hope flashing. "For Loretta, as executor." Natalie gasped. "You're cutting us out?" Derek asked. "I'm correcting a mistake," Marie said. "You're sick," Natalie cried. "You're not thinking clearly." Marie stood straight. "I am thinking clearly for the first time in months." That night, Marie wandered. I found her in the kitchen holding a knife, confused and frightened. "I forgot where I was," she whispered. I held her until she slept. By morning, she remembered nothing, but the documents were signed and irreversible. Derek didn't speak to me. 2 days later, Marie collapsed. The hospital lights were too bright, too final. "She had a stroke," the doctor said. "She may not regain clarity." I held her hand. She squeezed once. "I did it," she whispered. "Didn't I?" "Yes," I said. "You were brave." Her eyes closed. Outside the room, Natalie sobbed. Derek stared at the wall. Weeks later, the investigation concluded. No charges, no money recovered. But everything changed. Marie never woke fully again. She passed quietly one winter morning. At the reading of the will, Richard was absent. Derek sat rigid. The trust was mine, control absolute. As executor, I read Marie's final letter out loud. "I was divided once without consent. I will not be divided again. Let the truth stand where love failed." Derek wouldn't meet my eyes. I left Montreal the next day. As the city faded behind me and my sister's voice echoed in memory, I believed the story was finally over. I was wrong, because Marie had left behind one final secret, and it would surface only after she was gone. I thought grief would arrive like a storm, loud, overwhelming, impossible to ignore. Instead, it came quietly, slipping into my days without warning. A song on the radio, the smell of oranges in the grocery store, the reflection of my face in a darkened window, suddenly unfamiliar again. 3 weeks after Marie's funeral, a courier arrived at my small apartment back home. No return address. Inside was a single key and a handwritten note. "Basement locker, building C. You'll know what to do." My hands shook. I flew back to Montreal the next morning. The building superintendent led me to the underground storage level. Locker C17 sat at the end of the corridor, untouched, its metal door dusted with time. The key fit perfectly. Inside were 3 boxes. The first held journals, years of them. Marie's handwriting changed as her illness progressed, but the clarity of her mind before the decline was unmistakable. She had been preparing, watching, recording. The second box contained USB drives, audio files, voices, Derek's voice, Natalie's voice, Richard's voice, dates, conversations, admissions. Marie had outplayed everyone. The third box nearly broke me. Photographs, 2 little girls in hospital bassinets, a woman standing between them, eyes red from crying. Our birth mother. On the back of one photo, Marie had written, "We were loved before we were lost." I sat on the cold concrete floor and cried for the first time since her death. The investigation reopened quietly. No headlines, no drama. Derek lost his job within months. Natalie filed for divorce shortly after. Richard disappeared, his firm dissolved, his reputation destroyed. I didn't celebrate. I inherited Marie's trust just as she intended. I used it carefully. Scholarships for women displaced by closed adoptions, legal funds for families separated without consent, therapy programs for dementia patients abandoned by relatives chasing inheritances, and one small house outside Montreal. I moved there in the spring. Some mornings I wake up convinced I hear someone else in the kitchen. Sometimes I speak aloud without realizing it, to her. People ask if I regret meeting my sister so late in life. I don't. We didn't get childhoods together, or shared memories, or years of ordinary moments. But we got the truth, and that mattered more. On my 65th birthday, I visited her grave. I placed 2 oranges beside her stone. "You were right," I told her. "They never saw you coming." The wind moved gently through the trees. For the first time in my life, I felt whole. Not because I gained money, not because justice was served, but because a missing part of me was finally named and remembered. Some families are broken by secrets. Others are born from them. I lost a sister the day she died, but I found myself the moment I learned the truth.